We've looked at so many case studies, and people have put them forward, and they've been really, really rigorously reviewed, as you would through peer review panels for the IPA Effectiveness Awards. And actually, out of that 130, we actually ended up with, in the first tranche, only 5 that we felt made the cut in terms of their rigour about proving business case on the back of social. And there's some fantastic case. I mean, you can imagine the kind of case studies we've got and the kind of brands that we had. And it's not a criticism of those campaigns in any way at all, but the trouble is that for reasons of history maybe and of legacy and just the fact that, as I say, a lot of them are, quite new campaigns and haven't necessarily got that kind of rigour of effectiveness built in at the very outset. We couldn't see the business value. We could see, yes, intermediary measures. We could see fantastic numbers of, likes and views and all that sort of stuff, which is fantastic. But we couldn't see that this genuinely, as you would with an IPA Effectiveness Award, you can say an ROI of 4 or 5 or whatever. We couldn't see that. So we had to be really, really tough and rigorous about it and say they didn't make the cut. However, we have come up with a few, and there's 8 in total now that, in our view, have made this cut. And we'd hope, and of course what we want is many, many more of these. And I think part of the process of IPA Social Works is also making sure that it's a kind of call to arms. It's getting as many people as possible to actually come in and say, I've got a case study, it's a really fantastic example, please can you review it, can you look at it, because we think it's potentially one of those. So the first 5 that we came up with through which we presented at the F-Fest, the IPA F-Fest last October. First of all, inspired by Ireland. Fantastic campaign, post-volcano, without getting into any detail, very successful campaign that actually had an ROI of 61. I mean, it's quite extraordinary. The great advantage of that is that you could isolate effectively through people who flew in through the airport. You could pretty much work out what the traffic was. So it's quite an easy way of evaluating that case. Very, very strong case of a social campaign that drove massive footfall through the airport and people into Iceland. Mattison's Fridge Raiders, a very successful campaign which was run where we used essentially market mix, semi-econometric modelling to judge that, where basically the campaign, everyone's familiar with that, is where, as a gamer you have to create basically your own helmet, your way of eating Mattison's Fridge Raiders while you're playing games, because it's particularly good for gamers. It's not necessarily the healthiest snack around, but particularly good while you're gaming. And so someone came up with this fantastic idea, and the ROI on that was 2 to 4.4. What we then found was that actually, because this is not, IPA Social Works is not just about social campaigns, it's not just about social ideas, it's also about using social in any context. So what we also found is that a lot of the great examples were through customer service, and that's fine. We're not fixing ourselves to say we're just about communications. We're also about using social for insight. We're using social for customer service, and we found 3 great examples: Transport for London, O2, and BT, where we could demonstrably prove, or we could see the evidence through the case study that showed that the cost of service, or in terms of, with O2, it was very much about a CSI link. So O2's business is very much predicated on the basis that if you can prove they can find a direct relationship basically between ROI and business value and a CSI index, and we could prove the fact, or we could see the evidence that showed that actually social media has driven the CSI score up. But also Transport for London and BT were 2 brilliant examples where Twitter in particular, and it's important to say that we are utterly agnostic, obviously, about what the platforms are. But what I'm going to show is a couple of examples. One where Twitter's particularly come to the fore as the channel that was used to actually drive the ROI of these particular cases. And then I'll talk about a good example of Facebook in a minute with a new case study. What we found with Transport for London, and Chris and Lucy can correct me as I get these facts wrong, but basically, in summary, 850,000 of the 1.2 million followers of Transport for London are using it essentially for real-time information. And obviously that is one of the most important KPIs that we're interested in terms of us as users of the London transport system. 24/7, there are teams of 10 in 3 shifts, 2 to 3 minute response times. And again, these case studies exist on the IPA hub. So what I'm not going to do is go through the detail of them, and you can see them. You can see them yourselves. You can visit the IPA hub, and they're detailed in quite a lot, in quite a lot of detail. But essentially, what this demonstrated is the cost to serve versus other channels was massively reduced by using Twitter versus a telephone and various other different things. Satisfaction scores 74% and very positive influence on TfL reputation. So it was a very, very hard evidence that proved that Twitter fundamentally, and other channels as well, not just Twitter, but primarily Twitter, was very much driving the cost to serve down and actually proving that it was better investment in that than it was in something else, essentially. BT is a great example as well. And for those of you who work with BT would know that they had their view about, their key KPIs about ease of working with BT. So rather than having the Net Promoter Score, they've kind of created the Net Easy Score. And they actually created this Easyometer, which is a really nice way of talking about how customers interact with the brand. And that was fundamentally the framework that was used to judge the effectiveness of social media and communications. And BT is all about improving service, brand warmth and advocacy. And what this case study showed is that £2 million of annual savings in costs were avoided by using social channels. Again, Twitter was probably one of the primary drivers, not exclusively Twitter, but we found that actually that was one of the best examples of driving the costs down of using calls as opposed to social media. Maybe not that surprising. Obviously, you cut the cost down by using a call centre versus using Twitter. But the point is, it's a very robust case that proves the effectiveness of social media, and that's really what we're looking for here. And so the Net Easy Score, you can see on the right-hand side there, it talks about social media being the primary determinant of easiness of responding and interacting with the BT brand. So it's a very, very good piece of evidence. The retention also is gone up as a result of using Twitter and social networks as opposed to other channels as well, which is great. So again, very, very strong evidence there. What we've then done, these are the case study, the first tranche of case studies we had. What we've then done since then is we keep going through this process the whole time. And we've got 3 more case studies that we've added to the group here. They're basically for the Philippines, for a very successful bank in New Zealand, and then for Cadbury's Cream Eggs. And you know, we're very pleased that 2 out of the 3 of those are not from the UK, because I think that's the other thing, that this, again, like the IPA Effectiveness Awards, it's not just about the UK, it's about global effectiveness. And so we're pushing out very much in terms of our learning, and we're getting great examples coming through from other agencies and other clients around the world. If I just talk about Cadbury's Cream Egg now, this is a great example of how Facebook particularly was very successful in driving the ROI for Cadbury's Cream Eggs. Again, it's not exclusively Facebook, but Facebook's probably the main driver here. And the summary here is 66% greater ROI using TV and Facebook as opposed to using TV on its own or Facebook on its own. And sales grew by 9%. And you know, in summary, this Cadbury's Cream Egg was all about reversing the decline of singles. So not being a great Cadbury's Cream Egg user myself, apparently what people are doing is buying them in multi-packs, not buying them in singles. And so what this attempt to do this case study was to take us through how, very successfully, Cadbury's Cream Egg was going back to their penetration of 2011, where the singles sales were much better, by targeting the core audience of 16 to 24s, which is essentially the group they went after. It was a lovely campaign which was all about creating this relationship, you know, singles, between a dating relationship almost between you and Cadbury's Cream Egg. So lots of lovely stuff that happened on Facebook. Have a fling with a Cadbury's Cream Egg, giving gifts to people, almost creating that kind of dating kind of relationship. But what was particularly good about this case study is that very early on there was a strategic shift amongst Mondelez and Cadbury's Cream Egg to bake in social media measurement from the outset. So they'd done a lot of great social work in the past, and they got lots of great responses around likes and YouTube views and various other things. But they designed this campaign specifically so that from the very outset they could measure the impact of social media, and they very much baked in that social media measurement, as I said, from the beginning. And it's fantastic results. Not only does Facebook deliver 21% unique reach amongst 16 to 24s, with those exposed to TV and Facebook, there's a significant uplift in ROI, 66%. And you can see the final, in the histogram there, that the final number, which is Facebook and TV, which is a significant uplift, which is, say, 66% against the control. So again, sales results increasing, fantastic results there for Cadbury's Cream Egg. The last two examples I'm going to show are, which hopefully provide, as I say, inspiration for how we can measure. Of course we can. Of course we can measure the effectiveness of social media. It's no different to any other channel, and why can't you? But as I say, the evidence suggests there aren't that many examples, and here are a few examples that do. Philippines. 9% increase in tourists, 4.27 million tourists as a result of this campaign, highest ever spend per tourist. And this campaign was very much a socially driven campaign. It was a crowdsourced social campaign, essentially. I'm going to show this video which brings it to life.
More fun. It's more fun in the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines. It's more fun. It's more fun in the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines. It's more fun. More fun in the Philippines.
How will you show the rest of the world that it's more fun in the Philippines?
It's more fun.
Nating pagdating sa turismo, it's really fun to have Secretary Mon Jimenez as our secretary.
The world's best island, I confess to never having heard of it in the Philippines.
Boracay.
Hunyo pa lang ng 2012, 2.1 million na turista na ang napalapag. Mas marami pang dadagsa sa peak season bago matapos ang taon. Ang pahayag nga po natin sa daigdig, it's more fun in the Philippines.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
So next holiday sorted out there. The last one is the ASB Bank. I'm just going to play this video because it's kind of very much speaks for itself. It's basically a New Zealand bank, which personally I'd never heard of, but is a fantastic case study, a brilliant example of using social media and proving the results.
Banks always use big ad campaigns to sell the same home loan rate as every other bank, with all the same extras. And they wonder why people think banks are all the same. So ASB decided they'd do things differently. Introducing the world's first home loan rate that drops with every Facebook like, ASB Like Loan. The more likes the rate gets throughout one day, the lower it goes for one lucky winner. On day one, the app received enough likes that by the cut-off time, we gave away the country's lowest ever home loan rate. And after a further 3 days of competition, we gave away 3 more record-breaking rates and attracted more new fans than some of our biggest competitors. But the real value is that all the likes gave us leads to more than 17,000 people in the market for a home loan right now, which has already resulted in more than 200 new home loans. So while the other banks were doing business as usual, ASB was doing an unusual amount of business. ASB Like Loan. What's not to like?
Great. And the last case study that we're hoping is going to make the cut is one through LinkedIn and Capgemini. where the headlines at the moment is there's 170 million euros worth of leads from social. So that's a great example of B2B, where fundamentally through social listening, what's essentially happening there is Capgemini going in and making contact with those people who are expressing an interest in their competitors or an interest in their business. So we're hopefully that's going to make the cut as well. So there's a few examples of how it can be done. As I say, we went through about 130 to get to those 8 or 9. And I'm sure that over time it'll be one of those curves where suddenly there'll be loads and loads of people coming through as the years go on, because we're only talking about 2 or 3, 4 years of data here. As the years go on, we're going to see many, many more of these.